Well, it went better than last week. How much better did it go? Find out in my recap and reaction of episode 19 of Arrow, Broken Arrow. The episode starts off with two bank guards watching the arrest of Roy for being the Arrow on TV. But the power in the bank goes out and they investigate but are quickly murdered by a metahuman with laser vision. At the Starling City Police Department, Roy is being brought in for booking while Oliver watches. Captain Lance tells Oliver to stop Roy from taking the fall, but before he can take Captain Lance up on the offer, Laurel comes in and says that the police can't arrest Roy and Oliver for the same crime of being the Arrow. This results in Oliver being set free. Oliver isn't exactly thrilled about this, but goes to see Roy in the questioning room, where Roy says that this is his chance to save Oliver's life and serve his punishment for killing the cop last year. Oliver begs him to reconsider, but Roy refuses. After leaving the jail, Oliver runs into Malcolm, who tells him that he really needs to consider accepting Raish's offer, as it's the only way to stop the onslaught against the city and Team Arrow. Oliver rejects the idea and then heads to the Arrow Cave, but before anything can happen, Captain Lance raids the cave, hoping to find evidence linking Oliver to being the one true Arrow. But the team prepared for such an event and wiped the whole cave of anything that could link Oliver and the Arrow. Instead, the forensic team only finds fingerprints of Roy, and with that, Captain Lance leaves. Oliver doesn't know how he can help Roy and stop the metahuman with the cops watching his every move. Felicity suggests that they seek Ray's help, which they do and Ray gladly accepts. Ray is able to uncover the metahuman's identity, Jake Simmons, and his last known address. The Atom goes to confront Simmons with Oliver, Felicity, and Diggle coaching him via radio. But the confrontation doesn't go well as Simmons attacks the Atom and quickly defeats him, causing Ray to retreat back to his office where Oliver tells Ray that he needs to train more and not rely so heavily on his tech. At Iron Heights prison, Roy is escorted to his cell, but before he can get there, he's attacked by some prisoners looking for some payback. Roy makes short work of them and even manages to save a guard in the process. Captain Lance continues his surprise raids at Thea's apartment, where he receives a call from Iron Heights to inform him of the attack on Roy. He tells Thea what happened, hoping to get her to turn on Oliver, but it's a no-go. In Ray's lab, Team Arrow figures Simmons will go after the city's power grid. Felicity says that she'll go to Starling City's power grid and reconfigure it in a way that could stop Simmons. When she gets there, Simmons grabs her. He then calls Ray, taunting him into another confrontation. But this time Oliver is in control of the Atom suit remotely and brings the fight to Simmons. An explosion severs Oliver's connection, leaving Ray to deal with Simmons himself. At first it looks like a repeat of last time, but with Oliver's coaching, Ray gets the job done. Back at Iron Heights, Roy is stabbed by a prison guard, and apparently bleeds to death. Captain Lance lets Thea know first, then informs Oliver of Roy's murder, and blames the death on him. Back at the Arrow Cave, Oliver says that he shouldn't have listened to the team and blames himself for not rescuing Ray. But then a very alive Roy enters the cave and explains to him that it was all part of the plan to clear Oliver of any connection to the Arrow. But this also means that Roy Harper is dead to the world and is now free to start a new life somewhere else. He says his goodbyes and then leaves Starling City. Elsewhere in Starling, Thea is attacked by Raish in her apartment. She puts up a fight, but Raish defeats her with ease. Adding insult to injury, Raish stabs Thea in the chest, leaving her for dead. Dang, bro, that ending was crazy though. Also, the whole episode was actually pretty good. I literally thought they would break Roy out and that would be the end of the story, but I actually liked the twist they did there. I like the stuff with Ray too. The show does a good job of showing you that you can't just decide one day to pick up a cape and fight crime. Some sort of training is required, and even if you do have a fancy suit or weapons, it still might not be enough. So kudos to everyone working on the show for that. Having Raish in the episode for only like a minute is working out well. We don't get tired of him, and it leaves us wanting more. Hopefully next week we get an explanation of the Lazarus Pit, and hopefully they call it the Lazarus Pit and not Magic Mountain Spring Water or something weird like that. So altogether, another great episode. It was definitely worth a watch or two, and I would even say it was better than Flash this week, but you know, that's just me. Let me know what you think down below.